In pdfToolbox, you can set variables to make your preflight profiles, checks, fix-ups, and so on dynamic. So let me show you in this video how you can set a simple variable inside a preflight check. As you can see here, I have a preflight check that is called document is not A4, and if I run this check, pdfToolbox will bring up an error message if my document is not A4. If we edit the check, you can see here that we have fixed values for the trim box width and for the trim box height in it. And to make it dynamic, we can set for these two parameters, for example, variables. So wherever in pdfToolbox you can see these orange triangles, this is an indication that you can specify a variable here. So as you can see, there are a lot of options to set a variable to make your check, in this example, as dynamic as you need it. So let's make a new variable, and to do that you just have to click on the orange rectangle at the parameter that you want, and this will bring up a long list of all the available variables that are already part in your library. And here at the top you can see that you have options for creating a new variable. So we have new variable that will create a simple variable, and then we have new script. This will allow you to create a JavaScript based variable for complex calculations or logic. So let's click on new variable, and as you can see, pdfToolbox will bring up a new window where you have to set a few information about your variable. So first we have the key. This is a internal name that PDF uses for the variable, so it needs to be unique. So let's go with trim box width. Then we have the label name, and that is the name that you will see when you run a dynamic check or fix-up, and where you can specify another value or a value for your variable. And here we have the default value. That is the value that pdfToolbox will use if no other or individual value is set during execution. So this is fine for now, and maybe just a small help. Here at the right you have the value type information, and that will tell you what value type for the default value is expected from pdfToolbox for this variable. So if I say OK, you can see pdfToolbox will immediately insert my new variable identified by the angular brackets. And let's do the same for the height as well, to have a even more dynamic check. So let's say new variable. Here we also go with the trim box height as the key. The label and the default value is fine for me, so I can say OK. And since we have now a dynamic check, let's also adjust the name of the check. So document is not A4 is not suitable anymore. So let's say document is not the correct size. And if I say OK, you can also see that here the icon for my check has also changed. We have now here 3 dots at the top of my icon, and that is also an indication that inside of the check there is a variable set. And if I click on Analyze, pdfToolbox will bring up the so-called Ask at Runtime dialog. And here you can specify the values for the two variables that you specified in the check. So for the height, here is the label name that we specified. We could also say 210. And if I click on OK, pdfToolbox will also bring an error message because my PDF file, as you can see here, is 210 to 190, so that's right. I can also analyze it again and insert the correct size. And if I run that now, you can see pdfToolbox doesn't bring up an error message anymore, since it is the correct size that we wanted.